Our thoughts are with Mikel, who is disappointed but in good spirits. We are in active dialogue with all the relevant people to manage this situation appropriately. We look forward to getting back into training and playing as soon as medical advice allows. Arsenal are now trying to trace any other people who may have had contact with Arteta. The statement added, it was clear we are not going to be able to play some fixtures on the current scheduled dates. The Gunners were due to play Brighton this Saturday. So just to let you know that Mikel Arteta has tested positive for coronavirus. And that's something that broke earlier. Also on the back of that, the Premier League are having an emergency meeting tomorrow morning. Surely the time has now come. It's staring us in the face. The Premier League has to be suspended indefinitely for the foreseeable future.
If we've got to get it right, Mikel Arteta will be okay because he's young, he's fit, so he's probably got
expect that,
cold
absolutely,
or
to make a full recovery,
like flu-like symptoms.
Yes.
But he'll be fine. So he'll be in isolation for 2 weeks. All the Arsenal players will be tested, whether they're tested and they've contracted or not. They'll be in isolation for 2 weeks. Everybody's the staff, everybody come into contact with will be. But then it's who Mikel Arteta has been socialising with and who he's seen over that period of time.
Just not the football club.
Not the football club, at home, exactly.
Absolutely.
He'll be going to have like evening meals or whatever, or his family, if some of his family are a little bit older. So that's how it can spread very quickly.
Absolutely.
So if you look at the Arsenal won't play, obviously, this weekend at all, and nor the Premier League. But then there will be
West Ham can't play this weekend because they played last week.
They'll be suspended again next week, and then if the players have been in self-isolation for 2 weeks, maybe 3, then they're going to have at least a week coming back where you're going to get yourself to get some sort of fitness.
It doesn't stop.
Exactly. So this is going to be at least a month. Let's be honest, isn't it? With at least a month with no football, at least.
Rob is a Liverpool fan who's dialed 08717223334. Rob, welcome.
Hi guys, not a brilliant line. I'm a regular listener, love the show. It's just a shame that I didn't want to be making this sort of call to you guys. I think there's been much talk about 1 month. I'm not clear where that's come from. Looking at what's been happening in China, we are going into the tunnel. We're not coming out of the tunnel. The sun is not going to be shining in 1 month's time. We're in for the long haul here, dreadful as it sounds. And ultimately, the health of the nation has to come before, dare I say it, the health of football. Now, the idea of playing behind closed doors, I think with Mikel Arteta's development, God bless him, and players in isolation, that I think is now off the table. I think that's gone. And I think at some point somebody needs to grow some cojones and stop the season, stop all the leagues, award places based on the current standings, and move forward into next season.
So you're saying abandon the league, then, Rob?
There's going to have to be some tough decisions made.
Who gets relegated?
And I think that we're now pretty much at a point where that's the only sensible way forward.
Rob, what you're saying is not just suspend it. You're saying abandon now.
Yes.
Do you think that decision has to be made at this point? Do you think because what Boris Johnson's saying just with the coronavirus in general is you don't know when they're worried about when the peak's going to be.
Well,
so
at no point has the government suggested it within 3 or 4 weeks all is well is going to be well again. That's not what's been happening around the world.
No.
At the moment we're at 590 cases. There's talk of 10, 20,000 people infected, and we could soon be into hundreds of thousands.
Yes.
This is a game changer, and that wasn't meant as a pun. This is a long haul.
Rob, you're absolutely right. And I see right now, clearly that potentially could well be the only option that's available, depending where we are in 6 weeks' time, 7 weeks' time, 8 weeks' time. But right now, the decision has to be made, Perry, within the next 24 hours to abandon suspend the Premier League and all football, professional football.
At least a month, exactly.
Thought so.
Mind you, it shows you how fast this coronavirus moves and how fast the story moves. When we first come on air, I said to you, the third option is that you abandon football completely. And you went, not now.
It's not an option now.
It's not an option, but it is.
But all of a sudden, within the last 50 minutes or so, it's become an option. Chris is an Arsenal fan. Good evening, Chris.
Evening, guys. How are we doing?
What do you want to say?
Firstly, hope Mikel gets better and that. And
absolutely.
I
He'll
think
be all right.
now, with the Premier League, these people at the top of our game that we love and of any other game like a government, industry, anything, these are the times for some really, really tough decisions. You know, it is time to stop it. Football now, because everyone's integrated with the Premier League and all that, it's going to be a domino effect. If you stop it now, literally, and get them all in isolation, I think that's the way forward. And like you said earlier, do away with the Euros, because for people to think that everyone's going to get away with this sort of like, you know, without any sort of like anything happening is wrong. The cost is going to have to be bared by all of us. You know, we can't sit there and think, well, if we stop this, then stop that. It'll be minimal. We've got to make some really tough decisions and stop things now, and then worry about the cost implications and who wins what and what goes where once everyone's cleared up.
Do you know what? Chris is 100% right, because what you'd normally say is the World Health Organization and the scientists, they advise the government, and again, the government tell the people what's going to be put into place. This isn't, you haven't got to wait for the World Health Organization or the government.
No, you don't.
Because football is one of the few places and the most places where you're getting, my old club, Colchester, every home game they'll have 3,500 people there. There's no other place in Colchester where you have 3,500 people that gather every other Saturday, and you're going up to 60,000 and 70,000 in the Premier League. So it does affect.
Of course, it affects others. Absolutely, it's worrying times. Love your thoughts on this. Just in case you just joined us again, the breaking news in the last hour: Mikel Arteta, the Arsenal manager, has been diagnosed with coronavirus. And on the back of that, the Premier League have announced they will be having an emergency meeting tomorrow. Your thoughts, please. Surely the Premier League has to be suspended now. 08717 22 33 44.
The Sports Bar on Talk Sport.
It's a no-brainer, Jack. The first item on the agenda tomorrow, isn't it? So, right.
It's the only item, isn't it?
Well, but then they'll have to discuss what their plans are going forward. But the first one is, do we all agree that there's no fixtures this weekend for the Super? Because I thought it'd be Monday. I thought, you know, if they could play the fixtures,
through this one,
get through Monday and then have the 2 weeks. Yeah. So it will now be this weekend. Then the next fixture is supposed to be next weekend, which you won't go on, 'cause it's only 4. Then you've got April the 4th is when, after the international break, which obviously that's irrelevant now completely, so it's just going to be a break, that's it. So then they'll probably have an announcement to say that it's going to be suspended for at least 3 weeks until April the 4th, and they might then have to see what's happening at that particular time. It's not difficult.
I got a tweet here, Jason Gunny 05 from Tommy. He said, what about other leagues? It seems just about the Premiership.
No,
it's not about the Premier League. No one has said that. I know it's the Premier. It has to be all professional football here. No one. You can't have some. How ridiculous would that look if the Premier League decide that they're going to suspend matches? Yet down the road, you know, half a mile down the road is the Championship, League 1 and League 2 side playing. This is all matches, all professional matches have to be suspended this weekend.
Don't you think it's all football matches, not just professional? All matches.
I'm talking about the crowds here at the moment.
Yes,
you know,
but even then,
that should have come from. I don't want to get political. That should come from Boris Johnson. No, we were speaking to Norrie earlier. Norrie, I'm apologise being to cut you off in your prime. Continue, please.
Yeah, no, absolutely not at all. And I'll try to be quick because obviously your show's fast moving tonight and an awful lot happening. I'm afraid, I was saying I was a Rangers supporter and Rangers have done well to get to the stage that they have. I thought they played well enough tonight, so can I get that out of the way and I hope the rest of the 6 seasons are as much of a success as it can be. We did have a full house tonight, but the atmosphere was slightly strange in that I think there was a general feeling. A lot of people didn't want to go, and there was a general feeling that it was going to be meaningless because games were going to be called off anyway. You also had the other factor of, if you take our fixture, Bear have an inbuilt disadvantage that they're playing behind closed doors, whereas Rangers had a full house. Now, as it's turned out, that hasn't worked in our favour, but it's just not a level playing field. It's not right. I've got another major concern, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to zip through these very quickly. But in Scotland, what Mrs Sturgeon has said, and there's a lot of nonsense going on up here about, a political thing for Celtic, which I just don't buy into. I think that's absolute nonsense. And I would be appalled if that was the case, and I just don't believe it. And closing down grounds is going to affect Rangers as much as it's going to affect anyone else in terms of income. But what the Scottish Government's statement said was it's a recommendation of no more than 500. And I believe, and I just caught things very quickly on the internet as I was heading out to the game, that the SPL currently have no plans to suspend games. And that purely comes down to money. This will put Scottish football under. Now, the straightforward aspect to that is it needs leadership, it needs a coherent plan, it needs somebody to step up to the plate and get things sorted. But health comes first. And my goodness, have you not seen that with the players that have been infected, and now Michael Arteta infected as well? It's just not on. And, leadership just is not there. And I'm afraid not just football supporters, but the players and the support staff and the managers and all the rest of it are just being treated as a commodity without any recognition of health risks over sheer finance, and that's my opinion.
Well, you're absolutely brilliant, Go. I mean, you're right. The health has to come over absolutely everything right now, and the most important thing is that football just doesn't come under that banner. And any sport doesn't come under that banner.
No, because life is more important by a long way. But the thing is, because this is, I don't think a lot of people, even the governing bodies, they've never had this sort of situation before.
No.
So I think there's no sort of protocol to go through it at the moment. They're making it up really as they go along.
Someone has got to be strong here. Someone has got the Premier League have got a meeting tomorrow morning. As we broke there, the breaking news, they will convene an emergency club meeting tomorrow morning regarding the fixtures after Mikel Arteta has been tested positive for COVID-19. That's the Premier League. More to follow. We're back after this short break. 08717 22 33 44.
Win an unforgettable